University Ghana, the future is you.
To be a cutie, she's a queen.
And it's here with us again, the 8th edition of the Petroleum Fun Games organized by the Association of Oil Marketing Companies under the theme Together Everyone Achieves More. This event seeks to bring together all LPG and oil marketing companies, the National Petroleum Authority, and bulk distribution companies to unwind away from the hassle of selling fuel and compete in various games. It's tomorrow, the 31st of August 2019 at the Birmingham Sports and Recreational Facility. And this year promises to be great as previous winners and runner-up companies fired up to retain their trophies in the various games such as swimming, draft, tug of war, playing cards, volleyball, lime and spoon, football, table tennis, and many others. This event is sponsored by Biddy Group, Juice Only, Care 24, Emergency Medical Services, Stark Energy, Universal Engineering, and Consultancy Services.
I know the king and queen.
Webster University is an American university based in St. Louis, Missouri, with international campuses in 9 countries around the world, including Ghana. Webster University Ghana campus is conveniently located in East Legon, off Lagos Avenue and behind Media Pharmacy. At Webster University Ghana, you can get an American education with the opportunity of completing your degree in any of our network campuses in North America, Europe, and Asia. The Ghana campus offers both graduate and undergraduate degrees. Apply by September 15th and get up to 25% automatic scholarship. Enrollment is currently ongoing for October school start. Call now on 054-012-0849 or 054-012-0869. You can visit the website at www.webster.edu.gh. Also follow Webster University Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. So free.
Remember that on Twitter at Joy997, and my poll is really interesting. I'm absolutely loving your comments. Keep them coming. We're starting the conversation now. The question is, do you understand the woman in your life? It's Joy997, or you can tweet at me at I am Enima. Let me start actually before I come to my friends in the studio. Let me take a couple of your tweets. This one from Otabil305 says, yes, I do understand the woman in my life. There's no perfection in the world. Sometimes I get a little upset with her comments, but I take it cool and swallow it and move on. Understanding has been our key, making our relationship work all these years. Charlie, you are the boss because we are not. And Charlie, anyway, this one says, even God, the creator, I believe, has a hard time understanding his own unique creation. Understanding who? Eventually, the vanishing. That's Nana Kwame Opoku Williams. And it's funny because some of my colleagues here, I promised I won't mention your names, but some of my colleagues here had some very interesting comments. One of them says, women don't even understand themselves. Understanding women is still the world's only truly impossible task. And another one said it's a useless effort to try to understand a woman. And we all know that very famous quote, women were made to be loved and not understood. And so we're having that conversation this morning. I have about 5 gentlemen in the studio now, but I'm only speaking to 3 of them this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Okay, so I have David,
Ronnie,
Abaye.
and Abaye. Yes, and we're talking about understanding women. Let me start with David. So David, just simply, do you understand the women in your life?
Yes, to a very large extent. And I've understood this principle that I can understand everything. That makes it safe for me.
So you've understood them under the umbrella of you can't understand everything. I love that. Ronnie?
Yes, I do.
You also understand. You have 3 women in your, you have your wife and 2 kids.
2 kids, yeah.
2 girls.
2 girls, yeah.
And you understand them?
Yes, I try to, and I do.
Do you understand them or do you try to?
I try to, and I do.
So you understand them?
Exactly.
Oh, so you can't really relate with, the men who say they don't understand women and all of that.
I don't want to go controversial, but I don't.
You don't relate with them
I don't
at
relate.
all?
No.
Wonderful.
No, I think that it's easy to understand women if you put your mind to it.
I will call your wife and ask her if
She's
she
listening.
can verify.
She's listening.
Good morning, Gifty. I'm calling you to find out and verify Ronnie's position. What about you?
Yes, I understand my wife.
Wow.
That is plain and blunt, right?
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Well, if you are listening to us, I have 3 gentlemen in the studio who have got it all figured out.
Yes.
So this morning, no worries for you. Just get your pen and paper out. We're decoding women. So back to you, David. Why do you think that there's a general perception that women are difficult to understand?
I think by our socialization, we expect women to behave like us men. But women are different. Women are different. So they have mood swings, etc., etc. But basically, they want to be loved. They want to be appreciated. They want to be pampered. So if these things are well figured out, I think it saves a lot of hassle. But I think the challenge has been trying to expect women to be like us.
I see a friend of mine just texted me and he says, how do we expect men to understand women when Adam was asleep whilst she was being created?
Yeah, it was created from women were created from where?
Exactly.
From his way.
From his side. But well, why do you think, Ronnie, that there's that misconception?
I think largely because women sometimes pitches from their emotions in their conversations than more of them how men pitch from their rational thinking. So a woman is quiet, and you ask her what's wrong with you. Obviously, you know that she's something wrong with you, and she says that I'm okay. And she said, no, I'm not okay. And you ask her what is wrong with us. I don't know. And we the men
I
wants
saw
to.
you guys smile at that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's obviously not fine or not well, and she says, yes, I know I'm not well. So what's wrong with you? She said, I don't know. And you, the man, because you're very rational, you expect that she would find a reason or find some meaning to her emotions. But you see, I think that a lot of men also do not have patience in dealing with women. So for a man who can, on top of his head, describe whatever his feeling is, and sometimes they get it wrong anyway. So and they think that women because women may not at that point be able to describe how she feels, then she's complicated. Sometimes women are also very conversational, and men. You leave it at home, you get to the office. Obviously, because you haven't called her to get to the office, and you tell her that, oh, but you know, because I have not told you that I'm not in the office, so you should know that I'm in the office. No, men don't operate like that. And men think that women should understand that when I leave home and I tell you I'm going to the office and I've not called you that I'm not in the office, you should understand that within this time I'm in the that kind of thing. Yeah.
I had an older auntie who once told me that she asked her husband, she said to her husband that, you don't tell me that you love me. He said, look, when we started this marriage, I told you I love you. When I change your mind, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Until then, I love you. It's as simple as that.
And men must understand that women, irrespective, want to hear all the time that you love them. It's a process for them. It's not a destination like men. You are married, okay, it's a destination for a man, but for a woman, it is the beginning of a long process. So every day she wants to hear something sweet, and men, I've told you, I'm in your bed, you're wearing my ring, and you expect me, but that is not it.
What do you think?
Well, I think first of all, it's a fundamental flaw in our thinking. Now, let me read this from my wife. Okay, she just sent me this text message. This is what she says. A synonym for understanding includes the word mastery, and mastery doesn't happen in a day.
The process.
I want to meet your wife, by the way, because I absolutely love her.
She's also called Joy, by the way. So, yes. But I think like Ronnie and David have already intimated, it's important that we learn to be patient. Okay, I think fundamentally it's a perspective issue. We've got to learn as men to understand. I think even before we come to the part where we start to talk about women, okay, as individuals, we're different people. Okay, it takes effort, even for Ronnie as a man, for me to understand him. I've got to take my time, like he keeps saying, process. I've got to take my time to learn to understand you. But that comes with much more relationship, much more communication. I think that's where the problem comes in, where a lot of men are not ready to put in that effort.
And the
It's
time and work.
it's basically that, yes.
I see.
Yeah.
So the three of you, somebody sent me a text and said the three of you want to go home to peaceful homes. So you are all saying that you understand the women in your life.
No, that's wrong.
But
That's wrong.
that may not be true. But I absolutely love what your wife said, about understanding.
Yeah.
The fact that understanding also means mastery.
Yeah.
Would you find that in your experiences with dealing with women, you've had to be very mindful in trying to figure out the nuances that she comes with?
Let me pick that.
Okay.
My wife is very conversational, and anytime you get home, you may you would get home to a conversation, and mind you, the conversation will be none less than an hour, spread over 10 topics. So we can start. Oh, how Enumwa? What was the last time you saw Enumwa? Oh,
Yeah.
it's a long time I saw Enumwa sing. Oh, what church is he in? Blah blah blah. And you must follow. So don't lose it.
That is the secret.
Yeah, you must follow. Trust me. If you cut that conversation off, she would have it with somebody else.
And you don't want that to happen.
And you don't want that to happen. So you go through. And sometimes it's very endearing. Hearing her going through all the... And it's exciting. You want it. And sometimes you just poke some laughter. We tease ourselves a lot. So you tease her, we will laugh. Then it ends very well. Then the rest is history. But you see, you can't come home and she gets into the conversation and okay, right, I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, I haven't even changed. I haven't even gone into the bedroom. Yeah. And when it happens right there in the sitting room when she's there. So you go through it and blah blah blah. And understand that my wife is the last of 14 children.
Oh.
So she's enjoyed some kind of pampering for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ronnie, we'll come back to that. David, I want to hear what you think, but I need to take the Joy Business Minute. It's literally for 1 minute. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with this conversation.
Hello, good morning.
Harry and Dara with the Joy Business Minutes.
Founder of defunct TT Bank, Prince Kofi Amoabin, says the collapsed financial institution will bounce back despite the numerous challenges. It's been 2 years since the bank was collapsed.
Depositors of rural and community banks have been asked not to panic as audio circulating on social media that the Bank of Ghana is going to collapse some of them is not true. The regulator, ARB Apex Bank, said the audio message is an attempt by some individuals to destabilize the sector.
Minister for Railway Development, Joe Garte, has declared the government will deal ruthlessly with businesses operating closer to railway lines across the country. According to him, lack of funds have stalled efforts to prevent encroachment by petty traders and artisans.
And security researchers at Google have found evidence of sustained effort to hack iPhones over a period of at least 2 years. The attack was said to be carried out using websites which would discreetly implant malicious software to gather contacts, images, and other data.
Caution iPhone users.
We'll be back at 3:06.
But she needs to be more than one.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. Godfred says, I do understand my woman at certain times, but greatly confused in the midst of her mood swings. Nonetheless, she is a lovely woman.
Want her in my life.
Okay, David, let me come to you on the same thing. I mean, do you find that you've really had to focus so that you can get in tune with the nuances of the women in your life?
I believe so. It's taken a lot of time and effort.
How much time?
A lot of time.
A lot of time. Yeah, yes, I must admit.
How much time did it take you to really get a hang of?
Or my wife.
Yeah.
The good thing is, my wife is the only woman I've known. I was 8 years friends with her before we got married.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
So
now,
you've
like,
had
yes.
8 years to
Exactly,
really
yeah.
get to know her.
And that came from a very conscious decision as a young man. Growing up, I always wanted to. The truth is, I felt I wouldn't have any woman as good as my mum. That's something, yeah. So I was very careful not to go around dating every single girl, because because the kind of person I wanted to be sure I had got it right. And so I was really patient. Obviously, because I'm a Christian, I was praying a lot about it and fasting. Yes,
that's good.
So that was a good thing for me. And I found her. We started being friends, and until now we're still friends. And for all of the men, I think that is the really basic thing. You've got to learn to be friends with your wife, your partner. It's good you can appreciate all of the other wonderful things, all of the sex, all of the physical things. But you've got to realize that at a point in time, all of that is going to start degrading or diminishing. What will keep you through your journey, your marriage, is friendship.
I like that because I define marriage as extension of friendship, or let's say friendship with extended benefits.
I like
so
the
being
second
friends with your wife is very, very key. And I think I find a very good friend in her. And even the other women in my life, generally. I grew up among four women. I have 4 sisters, the only guy amongst them. I have only girls.
You have only girls. Yeah, I can tell. You know, another thing that I find in talking to men, the things that they don't understand about women are the way we answer questions. So there's the I don't know. There's the it's fine.
That's what I said.
There's the wow.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a no that actually means yes.
Yes, and then the yes,
which actually means no.
How have you been able to decode these things?
Don't get into that space. Accept that. Yes. When she tells you, I don't know. Okay, all right, but you'll be fine.
I hate it when people tell me I'll be fine.
When you don't know.
No, just the general, you will be fine. I feel like it's a total non-validation of where I am now. So when I'm not feeling, when someone says, oh, don't worry, you will be fine. I know I'll be fine, but in this moment, I am not fine.
So if you're thinking then
I
that
don't find it reassuring.
the person's got to make effort to help you be fine.
Or
rather
just,
than
don't say I'll be fine.
Okay.
Just sit with me where I am in that moment.
Okay.
As opposed to projecting the.
Okay.
You know. So that's a tip. If
Okay,
you're listening,
but you know, if you deal with your woman for a very long time, you get to understand those I don't know, leave me alone, and blah 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 blah.
My favorite is the wow.
And
Wow, I can't believe you just said that.
wow. Sometimes just frown on the face.
Yeah.
Frown on the face. Are you okay? Oh yeah. But it's still frown on the face. Obviously, she can't see her face, but it's frown on the face. Yeah, so it's there. But like I said, the process. Sometimes the journey makes you understand all these. For me, my wife, when I get up in the morning, and she has a frown on her face, I laugh at her. I said, hey, the devil that visits you, the devil that visits you in the dream, I'm going to chase her. I'm going to chase him. I'm going to chase it, and all that. So then she lets up. So that is it. And me, my wife, we can tease ourselves. And sometimes when you hear us teasing ourselves, you'll be very uncomfortable. And that is the relationship that we built. And that is not to say that we don't argue. We do. But I understand.
A necessary part of the
I understand that there is a certain kind of hair that I need time to get to know, and it takes time and patience to get there.
Right. Okay. Well, David, what do you think about it?
I agree to a very large extent with him.
How have you decoded the language that is?
Fortunately for me, she's quite vocal, and there's times she tell you exactly what she wants.
You don't want to go home for your wife to fight with you, and so you just no.
For instance, she likes me times. She's the kind of person who can be all by herself and enjoy her me time. So you should be able to appreciate when she wants to have that me time, and allow her. There are times too she wants to talk, and talk. You have to be available, especially when she comes back from work. And, you know, the work
There's
is
so much to
stressful.
say, yeah.
There's a lot to offload. You have to be available to be part of the sponge to absorb all those emotions. And several conversations erupt out of all
of that,
that.
yeah.
And we get on.
Let me come to you. You know,
Yeah.
so women will say things like, I'm fine. We'll talk about issues sometimes. They say that women talk, but they don't want a solution. Generally, it's like a general rule that sometimes when a woman comes to you with a
She just
problem,
wants you to
wants you
listen.
Yeah, listen.
But sometimes we want solutions too. How have you found that line of knowing when she just needs you to listen and when she actually needs you to, you know, be a go-getter?
For me, that is very easy on my side, because when she wants solution, she actually lets you know.
Tell you.
Your wives are very good communicators, clearly.
No. Sometimes I don't get a clear definition, but living with her for a long time, you know that this one.
How long have you been married for?
10 years.
And David?
18 years.
And AB?
2 months and 23 days. Yes. I didn't want to be asked that question. I didn't want to get asked. It's so
I mean, it's fine.
2 months and 23 days of marriage and 8 years of friendship. That kind of
Okay, and the 8 years are very, very,
Yeah,
very
why she hasn't come to you with specific questions and you go out of your way to try and proffer solutions, man, you are missing it.
For instance, she comes to you complaining about a girlfriend in the office that she didn't call, she didn't do this, she didn't. Obviously, you can't get in there. Listen to her. Said, "Oh, don't worry. I'm sure she will call the next time. You don't have to be. Don't give a direct. Just listen to her and play along. Now she comes to you and says that we need to get this ticket done, and you haven't still given me when you are going to pay for the ticket, and I don't know what is going on. Then that is where you need to give her, okay, I'm doing it this day and that is it. And when you deal with your wife for a long time or your woman for a long time, you get this space of where you can feel, and a space that you can't feel, but you are just being told so that you can you can support her, and so that she can go and give that kind of answer herself. That is it.
So the two of you, I asked AB the question. You haven't allowed him to answer.
Oh, that's what.
Sorry.
That's what. That how long?
Between the two of us, we remember the question because you talked. I mean, I was like,
okay. So about understanding the codes, I think what is those codes? Those have I fully understood it? No, but I make an effort, and like you said, I think what is really important is, you've got to start whatever conversation that comes up at home. You've got to learn to listen first, because a lot of David and Ronnie have already said men naturally always we're rational, want to give solutions to things. We're quick to jump at. Even before we hear the whole question, we want to start to give a solution, and that is wrong. That is a red flag. You don't want to do that. Now, what you want to do more is sit down with her. If it means hugging her, if it means caressing her, because that is your way into her heart, into her mind. The more you do that, the more she begins to open up. That's one thing I have noticed. And so I'm not quick to start to question and ask her all of those questions to help me understand what she's trying to say. I stay with her in the moment, hold her hand, start to talk about something else, something that's fun. And like Ronnie said, it's important you're very playful. No matter how old you are, you might be out there and be seen as a boss in your office and all of that, but don't bring that at home. You've got to play with your wife 100% if you really want to be able to understand those codes. And that's something I have learned to do. You're not doing all your bossy stuff. The way you handle your guys, your friends and all, don't do that with your wife. Learn to understand that. Be like a child if you want when you're dealing with her. Don't try to be all-knowing and always try to solve the problems. You get the thing.
Yes,
that helps.
I absolutely get it. So how do you guys deal with mood swings and PMS?
Oh, we haven't gotten there. PMS, we haven't gotten there yet.
No, PMS is the
PMS,
yeah,
I know. Yeah, no, we haven't got it. But mood swings. Funny enough, I deal with it on a daily basis with my kids.
Your kids are already moody.
Oh yeah. Somebody get up and somebody's crying. What is it? Then well, maybe my long experience with my relating to my wife gives me the solution. She gets up in the morning and she doesn't want to speak, and I say, look, you don't want to speak, but the hug there,
I like your
you have to
strategy.
give me.
Yes.
The hug there, and if you don't give me, I will come and give you. And when I'm leaving home, I will let you know. When I get to the office, I'll let you know, and I will flirt with you on the phone.
Beautiful.
And for some reason, some of these things, I'm a comedian at home, so some of these things lighten her up.
Yeah.
Lightens her up all the time, So I don't have to deal with mood swings as a critical issue at home with her. But the kids, sometimes one of them gets up and, Daddy, I don't want you to touch me. I said, okay, all right, tell me when to touch you, so I'm waiting. Yeah, when you're done, let me know. Then they said, Daddy, are you? Then she comes. I mean, that's the thing, But you don't totally reject it. Sometimes what some men do is that she doesn't want you. It feels like she doesn't want you to talk to her. Then you said, okay, my understanding is that if you don't want me to talk to you, then be there. Let me know when you. And yet in her,
She actually wants you to
be around.
Get closer. Exactly.
Why is that?
Why is that? You
That's
tell
the
me.
beauty of
You tell us. You tell us.
How can you attack me like that?
Yeah.
I'm hoping you can explain it to me because
It's a brand identity.
I think it's just the beauty of women, and we've got to, you know what, instead of complaining, and I think maybe we've made it sound so easy. It's not as easy as we make it. It means putting a lot of effort, okay? But I think instead of trying to complicate things every single time and complaining, well, you can't understand women, you can't understand. The more you're making that confession, the more you're not going to understand your woman. What you've got to do is learn to appreciate the beauty of your wife, your woman. Enjoy the process, go through it. Sometimes it gets frustrating, it gets annoying, but just enjoy it. That's why she's your wife. And for me, when I hear a lot of men say that, a question I ask is, before you got married to her, you had all the time, all the energy to be texting her, to want her attention. You're doing it at midnight when she's sleeping. She's like, don't text me at this time, don't call me. We're putting all of that effort into it. But when you do get married and you've got what you want, sadly, you don't understand it. Really? Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't, does it?
It doesn't work that way. And that emphasizes on communication. Very, very, very important. Constantly. Voice, messages, and even body language. Because there are times you need to communicate certain cues when others are around. Yes. So the communication must permeate through.
So I've been triggered by someone I've seen to ask this question. How have you guys found in the language that you use to communicate to women? So when you're speaking to each other, one of my friends puts it this way. She told her husband that when you're talking to me, it's blue and black, but I need you to speak to me in pinks and lavender. And so,
yes.
and when she told me, I was like, even me that I'm listening to you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he understood.
No.
So I think what she meant was she wanted a softer, there's a way.
Yeah, so tell me.
Yes.
That is one, you learn. You learn the process. You can't just assume because you've been with her even for 10 years. There are certain things that you also need to learn. Say, hey, Charlie, this one, how is it done?
I go do them.
Yeah, yeah. It said, sometimes you're talking to her and said you are shouting. I said, okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
When you are not shouting.
Yeah, we are not shouting. Okay,
But sometimes we do.
Sometimes you
yeah.
shout.
So for me, I said, okay, then show me the level. So you're crazy. Yeah. So that you need to learn. Don't assume that you've been with her for 20 years, so you've got everything all wrapped. No.
Do you know, from listening to you guys, I'm concluding that women are complicated.
No, they are not.
Because it sounds
They are
like a lot of work.
Sometimes when you've decided consciously to live with someone, you don't think that the person is just something that you can learn, or something that you deal with it the first day and you get everything under wrap. No, it's a process. So you want to
keep learning.
Sometimes men appear to be very complicated,
which you are
sometimes,
but yeah,
men.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Sometimes, but there are women who will say that no, women are just men are just walk
simple.
over. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no. Let me come to David.
It's because we don't want to put in the work.
Okay. David, in terms of the communication, I'm going to take a break in a few minutes, but before I do that, in terms of the communication, there's communication, which is just, talking. Yeah. But how do you communicate in a way that it is received in the way that you meant it?
The settings, very, very important. Settings. And then tonality. But even before you communicate, you must first seek to understand your partner. Mm-hmm. What's the issue? Mm-hmm. And the issue beyond the facts and figures. Look at the emotional aspects of it. Because for a woman, the emotions that go with the facts are as important as the facts themselves. If not more important.
Emotions.
So you must understand all that and bring all that into bear when you are communicating. For us, often we think rationally. So we should be able to place that rationality on a back burner and try to situate yourself in the shoes of the woman. And then as you are bringing forth what you need to say, you have to make sure your body language is corresponding to what you are saying. You must variate your tones for the woman.
Yeah.
Pause and wait for the responses. Along the line, she may cut in. You must pause, allow her to make her point, take it from there, move on.
What do you think?
Okay, so I think for me, talking about pinks and roses, okay, I think guys out there, you've got to chill. We've all got to chill. I think sometimes we're too manly and want to be hard and all of that. I think that is a problem with Ghanaian men. The good thing is that I was blessed to come from a home where my father is very conversational. He's very playful. As at the time I was 10 years old, my father would give me a kiss here. So all of that really helped me. And so I'm in touch with my feminine side. Yes. And that's really important. If you want, a lot of men keep saying the woman is controversial, and all of that. But that is because the way we communicate to them, okay, we make it feel that, first of all, even before we start a conversation, we don't even understand them. So they have that thinking in their minds. But if we can start to get at them in a way that is the pink and roses and be so romantic about it, then they warm up to us and give us all of the information that we want. And we don't keep having to hear, we don't keep having to suffer ourselves and have to think every single time the woman is complicated. Because women are not as complicated as we make it look. I think it's our thinking and the way we act towards them. If we can watch that and catch ourselves and be more calm, more romantic when we are dealing with them, then our women will warm up to us very easily.
Okay, I'm going to take a few messages. When we come back, we will open the phone lines for you to speak to our experts. Because as you can tell, the three men in the studio, they have mastered the art of women. And I'm even asking them questions about myself. I'm hoping that they'll help me to understand some of the things I don't understand about myself. And we're also live on Twitter at Joy997. The hashtag is #JoySMS. We'll be right back.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimum spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We are on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
Daddy, I bet you enjoyed your trip abroad.
Oh, yes. It was worth every peso, and the experience was breathtaking. The beautiful environment, the culture, and the food. Oh my, until I got terribly sick.
Perhaps from eating too many new dishes.
But you know, thanks to my Glyco travel insurance policy, all my medical bills were paid for the 3 days that I was on admission.
Really? Glyco travel insurance policy?
Yes, my dear. Glyco travel insurance is the best. Look, it covers medical and emergency services, personal assistance services, emergency return home, personal liability such as legal defense fee, loss of baggage, personal accidents, trip cancellation, or even delayed departure. And even these are the ones I remember off my head.
Yes, Glyco Travel Insurance has a worldwide cover and widely accepted by embassies, both Shenzhen and non-Shenzhen. Visit any of our Glyco offices nationwide or call 020-422-113 or 055-5305-547 for ready assistance from our experienced support team. Be safe, travel protected, and have a peace of mind. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
A great journey lies ahead of us all, but we all have different paths carved out for us. When choosing your path, make sure you choose a partner you can trust, a partner with integrity who will always stand with you and give you the support you need when you need it. No matter who you are and where you are in your journey in life, you are very significant, and so is the path you're on. Consolidated Bank Ghana cherishes financial security as much as you do and shares the same values as you, and that is why we are the right financial partner to stand with you. We are now one of the largest banks in Ghana, and we are ready to partner and work with you. CBG, we stand with you.
Mr. Bossman, with all these computers, servers, and electronic equipment, I know they see one cable for the floor crack.
Charlie, you be right too. We they use raised access floors from Interface, so all the cables they hide under the raised access floors. So
this be the solution to the plenty cables where you my computer room for office. Accountant, call Interface now.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call. And so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and last week, I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So hello, look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. So dial *315# to sign up. We day for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's go,
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302 633 988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go.
I am Dr. Acacia. Acacia gives your workers the best customer service and treatment options when the need arises, keeping them healthier and more productive for your business. Acacia Health Insurance. We place value on those you value.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
And it's the
it doesn't mean I don't understand you. You see, like when we get married, like I marry a woman or a girl, you shouldn't expect that always what you say is final. Sometimes you should also know that I also have my own issue. So when you say something, I say no. If you are saying let's do it like this, you should understand. You should understand, okay? So women, we understand them, but sometimes they overdo some of the things. Thank you anymore.
Thank you very much for that. And I have my last caller, Dick, calling from Kojo Krom in Second D. Dick, good morning.
Good morning anymore.
So what's your journey been like?
It's not been easy, because understanding women is like a full-time course that you need to undertake. And even with that, you won't still be able to understand them. But sometimes you do certain things just to get peace in the house. But understand them is not easy. It's very difficult. But we are managing. Maybe one of these days, universities will take it upon themselves to introduce one of these courses for us to study.
Fundamentals of Women 101. Eh?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Thank you very much, Dick, for calling us from Kojo Krom in Second D. So meant to wrap up the conversation for me, but before we wrap up, just a yes or no. Do you think men are just as complicated as women?
I would say yes.
Okay, Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go then. So there's no problem. We're all complicated.
No, but there's no argument.
No, there's no. Yes, there's no argument.
Yeah, but you are excited as if there's an argument.
I'm excited because most of the time it appears as though women are more complicated.
There's somebody who thinks that men are very simple. He says that men are simple. SEX, simple.
Very simple. I hear. I don't know if I believe that, but so wrap up for me in less than a minute. On just on your advice to men in terms of dealing with women and getting a handle of relationships. Really,
we are socialized to be rational thinkers. Women are socialized to be emotional thinkers. Yeah. We have to appreciate that and not expect women to think and behave like us. If we're able to get a hand on that, there will be a lot of peace.
Awesome. Ronnie.
Patience. Just deal with your woman with patience, and you'll understand it. Just patience. Just go through with patience. Sometimes we flip quickly because they're conversational. They want to explain, and you are looking for summary. Just be patient. You will get there, and you appreciate the process.
All right. Be patient, and you'll appreciate the process.
Communication, and we've got to understand this. Communication is not just in the words you're uttering or coming out of your mouth. Communication is in the way you're touching her, the way you're holding her hand, the way you're hugging her, pegging her. All of these things are important. And if as men we can learn to understand this disposition, understand that you've got to be able to put yourself in your wife's shoes and communicate properly to her, it makes our work easy. I think a lot of men get themselves disjointed from their women. You've got to understand, you're one mind now. Try as much as possible. Make the effort to think like she's thinking. Why is she seeing things the way she's seeing it? If you can start to do that, it makes your work very easy.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. You guys have been absolutely awesome this morning, especially because you've put out there that it's actually doable, understanding and living with women. So we wish you all the best. We, the women of Ghana and the world, we wish you all the best. And we pray for more men like you. It's 9:44. We finished this conversation, but the show is not over. Stay tuned. We're going to take a few messages and we will be right back.
I could give you about 15,000.